blame me.
Yeah, it's all you. All right. So, well, I guess let's just get started. Find your stillness. Find your roots.
Feel the breeze.
Feel the breeze. And I almost said the sun, but that's just me. I love it. Notice places in your body where you might be clenching or holding, and allow for a sense of release instead. And even if you're already breathing pretty deeply, see if you can bring even more depth to the breath. Longer, slower inhales and exhales. Thought a deer came up on the deck.
Somebody's throwing things.
Yes. Let's inhale, reaching the arms out enough. Exhale, hands to the heart. 2 more times with that movement. Inhale the arms to reach back out and up. Create a Y shape in the air. And then bend your elbows down, make it a W. Back to your Y. Exhale to the W. And continue moving with your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows. So keep your heart lifted. The next time you reach up, keep that reach. Spread your fingers. Begin to sway side to side. Make it your own. Breath still deep. We'll take it to a side stretch. The next time you move into your sway to the right, flip the right hand down, left arm up. Maybe take your gaze to the sky. Right shoulder resting away from the ear, breath deep. Imagine expanding the whole left side of the waist out like a balloon with your inhales. So really creating space as you breathe in. And when you're ready for the other side, move there with your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand down. Again, that big expansion with your inhales, the whole right side of the waist. Inhale, back to center, both arms up. Exhale, float the hands down. Right hand comes behind the back, just palm facing behind you. And then bring your left ear to your right shoulder. Left hand comes to hold the head. And then once you find that position, take your right shoulder down, just kind of pulling it away.
You said bring your
I know,
left
I
ear
was
to your
trying to
right
figure that
shoulder.
one out.
Yeah. Left ear to the
Left ear to right
left
shoulder.
Right ear.
Like,
You're
okay, you
recording this,
first.
right?
It's like this, guys. So,
See, we listen to you.
Everybody's looking at each other like, can you do that?
I was gonna do it first.
so we all did it on one side. Do it on the other side. Opposite hand, palm facing behind you. The other hand to the head as you bring that ear to its shoulder. And then take this other shoulder and pull it away.
Everybody's still doing it different.
You're just not, you're eliminating the head hold. That's cool. It feels good. Alright, release. We'll never do that again. Find circles with your torso. Let's take a whole inhale all the way around, one full circle, and then a whole exhale all the way around. Stay with that breath if it feels good. Other direction, with or without that breath, all the way around, and in breath, all the way around and out breath. Back to center when you feel complete. Roll out your shoulders. And then extend your legs forward. Root back in. Take your reach back up. Let's get the Y and the W's again. So this will be our inhale to exhale your W. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Keep the legs active. I think it's birds throwing stuff down. The next time you find your W, keep it. Heart stays lifted. It leads as you hinge forward. So your back has to stay flat. You're keeping your W. You won't be as far forward as you usually are. Knees can be bent if they need to be. With your next inhale, stay where you are, but reach your arms along your ears. And then exhale, hinging all the way forward, hands wherever they need to go. Movement or stillness. Find what you need. Find your way into your cat and cow spine with your breath. So you might come up a little bit to inhale the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine back. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round. One more time. And then lift the torso all the way up. Cross your right ankle over your left. Root back in. Arms reach out. Right elbow under your left. Make your X. Bend your elbows. Backs of the hands might touch. Palms of the hands might touch. Find your eagle arms. And then squeeze the legs toward each other as much as you can. So you're just activating the squeeze. Squeeze the arms toward each other as much as you can. Lift your elbows for a moment. And then take your elbows toward your knees, breathing space into your upper back. So only go as far forward as it feels nice. And slowly lift back up. Release the arms. Roll out the shoulders. And then your choice, you might just slide that right foot to the outside of the left knee or bring it to the inside if that feels better. Either way, lengthen up. Take a twist to your right, right hand to the earth behind you, left arm either draws the leg in or presses it away. You make your adjustments so that you're still tall. You can activate the left leg more if you'd like, pressing through the sole of the foot. And slowly unravel. The right knee stays bent, but bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the left leg. Find your roots back in. Your length back up. And then dive forward over the long leg. And then just see what it does to the stretch to move it more to the center. So the hands, instead of being on the leg, just bring them to the mat in front. For me, it gives more of a stretch in the back of that left leg, less of a stretch in the low back, but still a stretch there. One more big breath here. Walk the hands in to lift the torso up. Soles of the feet touch. Root back into the bones. And find your breath in cat and cow again. Heart forward on your inhales. Spine rounds on your exhales. See if you can release any tension in your hips, holding in your hips. Come back up to a neutral spine, 3 breaths, the Y's and the W's. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, bend the elbows like you're trying to bring them to touch. Inhale, reach. Last one. Plant the hands, extend the legs, roll the ankles. And then take the left ankle on top of the right. Arms reach out. Left elbow underneath the right. Make your X. This might be where you stay, or bend your elbows a little. Backs of the hands or palms might touch. Adjust.
closer, closer.
Lift your elbows. And then find your little or your bigger forward fold, accommodating your shoulders, your upper back. Let it feel good. Slowly begin to lift back up. Release the arms, roll out the shoulders. Get a little movement in the head maybe. And then we'll prepare for that twist by either sliding the foot to the outside of the right leg or bring it to the inside. Lengthen up. Twisting to the left this time. Left hand comes behind you on the mat for length. Right arm either draws the leg in or presses it away. And again, you can activate the right leg by taking the toes to point to the sky. And keep the breath deep even though we're in a twist. Slowly release back to face the front. Left knee stays bent. The sole of its foot comes to the inside of the right leg to root back in. Reach back up. Keep your length as you dive over the right leg now. Hands wherever they need to go. Check in. Is the face soft? Are you holding in the neck or the shoulders in a way that can be relaxed instead? Just sensing how it feels to be over the leg in the fold. And then switch it up. Bring the hands to the inside of that foot or leg and observe the difference. Slowly begin to come back up. Bend both knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Hip distance apart at first. Hands on the mat, take the knees side to side. And then just see if it makes much of a difference for you to bring the feet to mats width apart for the same movement. And for me, it's just a bigger stretch for the outside of the leg when that knee's down. You might take the opposite shoulder back. Take an extra moment on each side. So the next time the knees float down, just stay for maybe a full breath or two, and then take it to the other side for a full breath or two. Float the knees back up to take them to the side. Find your tabletop. Joints stacked once you're there. And just begin to take the hips side to side. It can be a big or a small movement. Maybe the opposite elbow bends when the hips move to one side. and then the other. Back to center. Turn the toes under and really walk the feet to a place where you're stretching all the toes with that turn. You might even reach back, take a hold of your outer couple toes and pull them forward. So we want it to be a big stretch for all the toes. And then just kind of press back if you need more of a stretch. So press into the hands and shift your weight back. Only if you need more. And then we'll slide the hands forward as we bring the tops of the toes back to the mat. Find your puppy pose. And tops of the toes resting down now. You might even wiggle out the toes if that was a big stretch. Two more breaths here. Begin to slowly walk the hands back in. And once the wrists are back under the shoulders, take your right knee up and around for some circles. So circling the right hip. You can get the movement in both directions. Keep that knee bent. Lift the sole of the foot toward the sky. And then take a couple little lifts with your heel. So you're squeezing in the glute, lifting, lifting, lifting. And then extend that right leg all the way back behind you, parallel to the earth. Sorry. The left arm might reach forward.
Okay.
Be mindful of the house behind you.
It won't move.
Yeah. So we're going to keep the left arm reaching. If it's reaching, the right knee comes back down. Let's all reach the left arm out to the side and up to the sky. And then slowly guide that arm through underneath the right armpit into your twisted shoulder stretch. Right hand position is your choice. Maybe it reaches forward or up to the sky. It can wrap around behind you. Lots of options. But when you're ready to release, the right hand comes back to the mat, plants, and then it helps you unravel as you press into it. Restack the joints once you're there, make circles or any shape with your whole body. And we might as well snag a down dog before we get that on the other side. Spread your fingers, turn your toes, lift your hips. Melt your heart down, relaxing the neck. This is your dog. If you need movement, let it happen. Keep the breath deep. And then the knees come down right under the hips. Wrist back under the shoulders if they aren't there already. Left knee moves out to the side and into some circles, getting into the left hip now. Moving around in both directions. Keep the knee bent, bring the sole of the foot to the sky. A couple little lifts. And then the leg extends back, parallel to the earth. Maybe right arm reaches forward. Release the knee down. We'll all reach the right arm out and up. And then slowly the hand moves to the earth underneath the left armpit. Bringing the shoulder down. Creating a comfortable stretch. Left hand position is your choice. Same release though when you're ready for it. Left hand plants to press in and unravel. Cross your right ankle over your left behind you. Sit back on your heels, a crossed ankled child's pose. See how it feels. If it doesn't feel good on your ankles, uncross of course. Listen to your body. For me, it kind of massages, like a pressure massage, the top of my left ankle, pressing it into the mat. And then slowly lift back up a little to uncross and recross opposite ankle on top. Get back on your crossed heels and breathe. Begin to lift back up, uncrossing. Last time we'll turn the toes under for that big stretch on the toes. You might again take the last couple toes and give them more of a stretch, pressing into the hands, leaning back. Maybe even walking the hands in to sit upright for more weight on that stretch. Only you know if it feels okay. It's a big one, or it can be. This time when you're ready to release, plant the hands, uncurl the toes, and gently tap the tops of the toes on the mat. Maybe give them a wiggle. And then spread your fingers. Turn the toes back under just to lift the hips into down dog this time. Take the feet to the hands for your standing forward bend at the top of the mat. Knees can be bent if they need to. Take a half lift with your next inhale. Hold again, breathing out. Arms out and up, breathing in. Hands to the heart with your exhale. Right leg back for triangle pose, so align your feet with each other. Torso turns to the side. Back toes turned in, arms reach out. Front knee has a little micro bend, or more if you need it, as you reach forward and then down. Right arm up to the sky. From here, bend the left knee and bring the left elbow to rest on top. Right arm reaches along the ear, pressing into the outside of that right foot for more of a stretch. Press strongly into both feet, through both legs as you lift the torso up, warrior two. Adjust your stance if you need it. Everybody looks awesome. Except on the video, I don't know what you look like. We'll take the right hand to the hip. Bring your left foot forward a step or two to bring, or your right foot forward a step or two to bring your left hand down. Turn the torso toward the mat and stay here, or play with lifting your right leg up behind you. If the leg's lifted and you want more, you can turn the torso to your right and possibly lift the right arm up to the sky. From wherever you are, slowly make your way with control back to your standing forward bend at the top of the mat. Bend out the knees or take a little sway in the torso. Maybe a sigh. And then a half lift with your next inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Left leg back for your triangle when you're ready for it. Take your step, align your feet, hips to the side, arms to the sides. Check for your micro bend so that you're not overextending in the front knee. The toes are forward in the front foot. Nice adjustments. Right arm reaches forward and then down, left arm up to the sky. Breath flowing. Bend your front knee, bringing the elbow down to that leg. And then left arm reaches along the ear as you press into the outside of the left foot for that big stretch on the whole left side of the body. Ankle all the way up to the fingers. Use the strength of the legs and the press through the feet to lift the torso into warrior two. Adjust your stance if you need it. This is Georgann. She just wanted to be on camera. Wave to the camera.
I forgot about that. I
couldn't figure out what it was. It's those beautiful glass hummingbirds.
They are pretty beautiful. Left hand to the hip. She just wanted to be on camera for real. Left foot steps forward a little so that the right hand can come down right in front of the right foot. Stay here or play with lifting the left leg up behind you a little bit or a lot. Challenging your balance. Maybe turning the torso to the left. Left arm might reach to the sky. Find where you need to be. Same release. When you feel complete, move with control back to your standing forward bend for a little sway or a little bend in the knees. Maybe a sigh.
I'm sorry to be so disruptive, but I have to
Georgann.
leave early.
I might call this one Yoga in Nature with Georgann.
Sound effects by Georgann.
Uplift on an
Georgann.
inhale. Yeah, 2 Georganns. Exhale, fold.
Georgann squared.
Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Give a little namaste to Georgann since she's leaving. And come back to your center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands back to the heart, but see if you can touch the fingers to the bridge of the nose, maybe the lips, and then to the heart. Inhale, reach. Same thing, back to the heart, maybe that light touch, thumbs just slowly moving down to the heart. One more time. So let's try it again, this time standing. Right hand comes to the low back, palm facing behind you. It just feels so good, we have to do it. Left ear moves to the left shoulder.
Okay.
Left hand rests on the head.
That's better.
Yes, okay.
That makes sense.
Then the right shoulder kind of presses down, just to add more to that stretch. Hi. Okay, then we can even change it up a little bit by turning the head to look down at the left armpit. The placement of the hand on the head kind of changes. The stretch changes to more of the back of the neck. I like it anyway. All right, release. Get movements in the head that feel good. And then the left hand comes palm facing back. On the low back. Right ear moves to the right shoulder. Right hand rests on the head. Left shoulder presses away. Like presses down to add to the stretch. So it's not like we're yanking or pulling on the head, it's just more of a hold. Close your eyes, feel the stretch. Just notice where it is. Now we'll just turn the head to look toward the right armpit. The placement of the hand might change a little to have that slight change of the stretch more on the back of the neck, back side of the neck, side back of the neck, whatever you want to call it. And then slowly release. Get a movement in the head that feels good on the neck. And then hands come back to the heart. Inhale, reach them out and up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Right leg back one more time for triangle. The same stance, feet aligned, front toes pointed forward, back toes turned in, arms reaching. Left hand forward and down, right arm up to the sky. Bend your right elbow to take the back of the hand back to your low back. Keep it there, or it might even inch its way to the left hip. Either way, lift the torso, left arm still reaching forward, then up to the sky and back for a reverse triangle. Beautiful. Release the bind, arms back out to the sides, bend the front knee for your warrior two. Reverse warrior, right hand down, left arm up. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your front leg back, downward facing dog, movement or stillness. Breathe. Take a look between the hands. Walk, step, or jump forward, back to your standing forward bend. Half lift when you're ready for an inhale. Fold again, breathing out. Arms out and up, breathing in. Hands to the heart with your exhale. Left leg back for your last triangle. Arms find their reach. Right arm forward and down, left arm up to the sky. Left hand comes to the low back, or it might inch its way to the right hip. Lift the torso, reach the arm forward, then up, then back. Bring the torso back to perpendicular with the earth, arms reaching out as the front knee bends for warrior two. And then reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your front leg back, downward facing dog, your last down dog. Move in any way that feels good in this moment. And then bring the knees down under the hips. Wrists back under the shoulders. Find a few breaths in cat and cow, tailbone, head, and heart lift. And then the spine rounds to the sky. to a neutral spine. Begin to move in any way that feels good. Circling, figure eights, anything at all. Maybe another down dog. And then you're on your own for about 30 seconds or so to make a transition down onto your back. Now, if you need a seated pose on your way there or another child's pose, honor your body. Once you find your way down into that reclined position, just bring the knees into the chest for a hug and a movement. Maybe just side to side or forward and back to start. And then see how it feels to cross the ankles here, right over left to start. Maybe it doesn't even change the stretch much for you, or it might feel completely different. Keep the ankles crossed as they are. Bring the body back to center. The arms beside the body to extend the legs up to the sky. So ankles still crossed, legs glued together, low back pressing down. If you need extra support, the hands can come underneath the hips even. Just squeezing the legs toward each other in the sky. Not just the legs, the ankles. Keep the low back pressing down as you uncross and recross left ankle over the right, legs still extended. Squeeze them toward each other again. There might be a little movement. They might kind of shake a little. Check in with your breath. And then keep the ankles crossed as they are. Bend the knees. Draw them into the chest again, with or without movement. Ankles just stay lightly crossed now. You can relax all that squeezing. Uncross the ankles, but keep the knees in the air. The hands come to hold the knees so that you can circle them around. So circling the knees with the hands, massaging out the low back with those circles. Whatever pace you're moving, find a different one. So it can be a little bit faster or a little bit slower. Just check it out. Find a different pace just to see if it changes anything for your sensations. And then get the circles in the other direction. Check out some other pace, faster or slower. And then we'll change the focus from the low back to the hips. Hands still on the knees. Begin to circle the knees now in opposite directions from each other. And circling them around gets into the hips now instead of the low back. Low back still getting a pressure massage as it presses against the mat. Take your circles in the other direction. Meanwhile, the jaw is soft, the whole face is relaxed. Bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. Just keep the hands in the air, rolling the wrists. Just loosely rolling the wrists in one direction and then in the other. Rest the hands down beside the body or up to the sides so that it's easy to float the knees from side to side again. But just like we did when we were seated earlier, just floating the knees side to side. The next time the knees float down to the right, just keep them there loosely hanging out. And then take the arms over to the left. Just kind of plop them over. The left or the right arm comes across the chest. This is my cat's favorite stretch. And then take that same stretch to the other side. Lift the knees through center. Float them over to the other side. Arms reach. But loosely. Everything's just heavy with gravity. Slowly begin to unravel back to center. Take a moment to realign the spine. And then check in with your body. See if there's any final stretches at all that would feel good for you before we create Shavasana, that final resting pose. Once you're in your most comfortable position, with the eyes closed, feel that sense of melting into stillness. I really love this quote from Ram Dass, so I'd like to share it. He says, "I invite you, when you are caught in your stuff and your heart is closed, to reach out to find someone else who is suffering, to be there with them for a moment. What I find is when my heart is closed, is that the purity of their heart pulls me out of myself very quickly. For those of you who have gotten caught in individualism and separation, the act of serving another human being is a doorway back into your connection to the universe. Their real need pulls you right out of yourself. And for me, I kind of think that that's what life's about. Serving others. Staying connected to that oneness. Begin to bring your awareness back into your body by finding a deep breath or two. And then ease in some movement. Maybe stretching your fingers and your toes first. Eventually guide the body to a side on your mat. And then back up to your seated position. Take a moment to acknowledge that we are all one. The light within me truly honors the light within you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all for being here today. Good work.